Are you bored of FIFA 23 career mode? Do you not know what club to play for? If you've answered yes to these questions, then this video is for you. I'm going to run you through 25 teams that you should choose from the top 5 leagues that have promotion and relegation, just to spice things up and make it more interesting, on FIFA 23 Create a Club feature. This will feature historic and new kids on the block teams. Now that the World Cup is finally over, I've got nothing else to talk to you guys about, so I might as well do this, as many of you will play FIFA 23, I would imagine. Before we get into this, please make sure to drop a like on this video, hit subscribe, share this video, and follow me on social media. All links to Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook will be in the description down below. Anyway, let's get into it. So, we start in my own country of England, and the 5 teams we will be, so number 1, let's pick Bury. Bury, of course, were expelled from the Football League all the way back in 2020 because of massive financial worries. Bury is still not dead technically, but they have a Phoenix club that's in the 9th tier of English football, I believe, but the original fans want the original club back, and back in non-league pretty much by the end of 2024, I believe. So why not create this club, get them back on the game, and take them all the way to the new heights of English football, and capitalise on their 1903 FA Cup success. Before they were kicked out, they were bouncing around League 1 and League 2, so why not go one step further? Next club, number 2, another club that's now defunct, Macclesfield Town. There is a new Phoenix club called Macclesfield FC that is done by Robbie Savage, and they currently play in the 8th tier of English football, but the original club folded after they were relegated from League 2 into the National League because of massive financial problems, and the club is now in the grave. Why not resurrect the club, bring them back like a phoenix rising from the ashes, like Fawkes from Harry Potter? Why can't you bring them back into the game, recreate the club and everything, and have Robbie Savage as the manager, considering he's technically the owner, and try and sign his son Charlie into the team from Manchester United, either on loan or permanently? That would be something. Father like son. Nepotism, but who the hell cares? Next, number 3, another historic club, Notts County. Notts County are one of English football's oldest professional clubs. I think they are the oldest pro club ever. Obviously, they were relegated from the Football League 3 or 4 seasons ago now, so they've spent that time toiling in the National League. Of course, they currently sit top of the National League currently. However, get them back into the game and get them out of League 2 back and into the Premier League. For those who don't know, Notts County nearly became founding members of the Premier League all the way back in 1992, but were relegated along with West Ham and Luton, and were therefore never seen in the top flight ever since. Number 4 in this is another historic club, Oldham Athletic. Of course, Oldham were relegated from the Football League 2 years ago. However, get them back, and they currently sit toiling in the National League relegation zone, so they could even go into the 6th tier of English football, which would be stupid for a club of Oldham's size. Sorry, can't talk. Anyway, get them back in. Oldham were actually founding members of the Premier League, believe it or not, all the way back in 1992, and survived for one season before ultimately ending in relegation in 1994. So they actually did one better than Notts. So why not take them one step further and get Paul Scholes back, who was unfairly dismissed as manager. He kept saying he quit, but we know better. And our 5th and final club is going to be, here's a good, nice little fairy tale for you. How about Marine? For those who don't know, the club Marine is based in Crosby, which is in Liverpool, and they made the headlines for playing Tottenham 2 seasons ago in the FA Cup 3rd round at home in their own stadium of Rossett Park. Literally, fans were watching in their own back garden, I should say. Why can I not talk? My freaking speech is going. But anyway, you can get Marine into the game. You can use their real-life players and manager just to, even things out. As Marine are a non-league side currently playing in the 7th tier, they would not have that big of a budget, so try and make that as realistic as you possibly can. Next, let's move on to France. France is 5 teams. Number 1, how about Le Mans? Now, of course, with Le Mans, it's famous for its 24 hours of Le Mans endurance racing, but its football club was very good as well. They competed in Ligue 1 quite a few seasons ago, and were in League 2 recently as well. They've had players play for them in the past, not necessarily from the academy, but they've had players like Gervinho, for instance, playing for them in the past. So get Le Mans back into the game and put them in League 2 and try and work your way back up into League 1 and hopefully into the Champions League. The next one from France, number 2, will be a historic, well, not a historic club, a fairy tale. How about Les Herbiers? For those who don't know, they actually reached the final of the Coupe de France a few seasons ago, losing to PSG, and they currently play in France football's fourth tier, the Champion National 2, or DO, currently second in their group. So get them into the game on that in the Create a Club feature, and watch this new team on the block rise and rise and rise. Number 3 in here, how about Nancy? Now, I don't speak French, so the pronunciations are going to be a bit stupid, but I apologise in advance for that. However, Nancy were in League 2 last season, but got relegated, now currently sit in the third tier. They're one of the biggest clubs in the third tier, and they're currently toiling around mid-table. Get them back into League 2 and hopefully back into League 1 as quickly as possible. Club number 4 will be a team that was wrongfully denied promotion to League 2 a few seasons ago, and that is Luzenek AP, who were hoping to become the smallest professional village to have a professional football side. They were led by Fabian Barthez, so you can use him as manager and get Luzenek back to where they should have been before they were relegated into the 7th tier of French football and forced to play with their reserve squad. So get them back, as justice in the world does exist. And the 5th and final club is going to be Toulon. Toulon is a city of rugby, and that's all there is to it, really. That's why Toulon currently struggling in the fourth tier yet of French football. But get Toulon backed by that guy who owns the rugby side and pump money into the football club and get Toulon up there, back to where they should be. Now we move on to Germany. For Germany's 5 teams, number 1, how about Alemannia Aachen? So with Alemannia Aachen, they currently play in the Regionalliga Nordost, which is German, obviously. They used to be in the Bundesliga and Bundesliga 2 a few seasons ago. Obviously, they fell on hard times, and now they're currently stuck in the 4th tier. Why not just try and rise them up and win the Bundesliga and dethrone Bayern Munich? Club number 2, how about Enige Cottbus, a club that's currently top of their group in the Regionalliga. Yeah, they're in the 4th Regionalliga of German football, a club that used to be in the Bundesliga and Bundesliga 2, of course, but now, of course, like Aachen, they fell on hard times and have just toiled around recently. Number 3 of the Germans, how about Unterhaching? They're kind of like a mid-sized club in Bavaria that were in the 3 Liga a few seasons ago, maybe even last season, but of course they got relegated. So why not bring them back into the game and get them up there, like we all know. Number 4 is going to be a reserve team. As we know, Dortmund 2 and Freiburg 2 are in the 3 Liga. Bring back a reserve team that used to be there, Bayern Munich 2. This will be a challenge because for me, I would make this, you can only sign players aged up to 23, and you can only sign Bavarian players to make it a bit of a challenge for yourself, and you cannot get promoted to Bundesliga 2, so it kind of is going to be a bit restrictive, but, you know, it is what it is. It might not work, it might do, who knows. And then the 5th and final club for German football, how about you use Chemnitzer? I think that's how it's pronounced, really. They're currently in the 4th tier of French German football. Used to play in the Bundesliga 2 a few seasons ago. So get them back up, start in the 3 Liga, and then work your way up to the Bundesliga. Next, we now move on to Italy. There are 5 teams. Italy's going to be a bit of it because there's loads of clubs out there. Number 1 will be Siena. Siena, of course, used to play in Serie A. So bring them back. They're currently in the 4th tier of Italian football, the Serie D. Number 2, Catania, currently in the Serie D, currently top of their group in Serie D. Catania also used to play in Serie A, but of course, Italian football riddled with bankruptcies. The club folded, went under, reformed, whatever. Number 3, Livorno. Livorno used to be actually in the UEFA Cup qualifications in the Serie A. Now, of course, they currently play in Serie D, which is a real shame, or Serie C, whichever, for that club. Number 4, how about a club that used to play in Serie A recently, but now had to fold? How about Carpi? Carpi were promoted to Serie A in 2015, only lasted one season before getting relegated, but it was still a great moment for that little small club to get into the top flight of Italian football. What a great rise. How about you do another rise and get them back up into the Serie A? And the 5th club for Italian football, I'm not sure whether they're on the game or not, but how about Palermo? If they're on the game, I apologise, but if they're not, then do that, because this club is very, very historic. Paulo Dybala, Abel Hernandez, all played for this team, and of course they've had really good success in Europe as well. And then last but not least, Spain. Their 5 clubs, I'm going to go for 1, Deportivo La Coruña. This club were in the Champions League quite recently as well. 2008, I believe, was the last time they were there. They've had players play for them in the past, but now, of course, they're currently stuck in the 3rd tier of Spanish football after falling on real hard times and haven't been back in Spain's professional ranks ever since. Bring their good times back to the Riazor and get Deportivo back to where they should be, one of the big dogs of Spanish football before Atletico Madrid came along. Number 2, Hercules. No, I'm not talking about the movie starring The Rock. I'm talking about the Spanish club, which currently plays in the 3rd tier of Spanish football, who were playing in the Segunda a few seasons ago, and then obviously have also played in La Liga. Of course, they fell on hard times as well. Number 3, next, we have Numancia. This club actually beat Pep Guardiola's Barcelona in 2008 on the opening day of the 08-09 La Liga season. Now, Numancia were actually in the 4th tier last season, but won promotion and got into the 3rd tier, so that is actually good going for them. Number 4, next, we have a club that now no longer exists, but Benidorm. As we know, Ibiza is a great destination in Spain to go to for youngsters, and now they're on the game. That would be a great challenge career mode for people that do Ibiza career modes. Now, how about another one before Ibiza came along? Benidorm. Benidorm did have a football club that played as high as the Segunda 2, I think, and then, of course, the club folded, and we haven't had a Benidorm ever since, at least not in the main ranks of Spanish football. So recreate this Benidorm side and use players from the Valencian community, because that's where Benidorm is based in, and build a team up from there. And number 5, how about you use Barcelona B? B teams are always been a focal point of Spanish football. You can try and create the real-life players that play for the B team, as well as loaning in Barcelona youngsters who are not in the first team. So forget about loaning in Pedri and Gavi. You can only have players up to age 23, and you can start in the Segunda, but you cannot get promoted to La Liga. So like Bayern, it could be a bit restrictive, but it could be a fun challenge nonetheless. So there's your 5 leagues of promotion relegation. Create a club feature in the career mode that if you would prefer to enjoy that. If you want to do other clubs, no problem. You can just watch other YouTubers of all that. You can create some other teams. You can create some good fun saves on this. FIFA 23 Create a Club would add up some spice to your career mode. But like I said, please enjoy your FIFA 23 experience. And if you've created a club, please let me know in the comments below. That would be much appreciated. Bye.